Folks, ladies and gentlemen, why is it 90 Day Fiance, TLC, Sharp Entertainment, why is it they always have to bring us criminals, people that have a history? But of course, I will say this too, just because somebody has a history of being involved with authorities, it doesn't mean they don't deserve a second chance. I'm a strong believer in second chances. But then again, that can be subjective depending on the crime. But either way, though, as you know, folks, we're here to give you the updates and also give you information on the people that we are watching. So at least you are aware of the people that you are either one, supporting or maybe hate watching, whatever your choice is. But before we get into the criminal activity that I was able to discover regarding Forrest, in case you have forgotten, in a previous video I spoke about how we exposed the fact that Forrest and Sheena had actually already met in 2023, not in 2024 or 25, depending on when the filming was made, because right now they are portraying their storyline as if they've only met for the first time in this season, which that is clearly a lie. Well, here's the thing. There is now some more information regarding that. There's now been some updated information regarding when these two met and exactly, the things that they were getting up to. So let's get into exactly what was reported here by Sarcasm, a very reliable source. So as you can see right here, folks, this is Sheena and Forrest in 2023. In fact, November of 2023. And clearly, I guess in the Philippines, they like to celebrate their Christmas times very, very early, which is fine. Do you know what I mean? And obviously, as you can see, these two have obviously had a Christmas together, or at least a part of it, should we say. They've obviously been around together in that season. I mean, listen, to be honest with you, it's good to see that they're happy. It's good to see that they're smiling. It's good to see that they're in good spirits. But why have you got a life for? I mean, listen, we obviously sit here and, sometimes we get couples who are actually already married, which makes no sense. Mignon and her man, obviously, Anthony, they've already been married. So why they want a show called 90 Day Fiance will never make sense. So to be fair, look at it this way. If TLC or 90 Day Fiance, Sharp Entertainment, if they're going to be more than happy bringing couples in that are already married, then why should you lie about couples that are already met? Is it really that deep? What's wrong with a storyline that says, I'm going to meet my 7-year-old girlfriend for the second time because I haven't seen her in the last 2 years or something like that? There's nothing wrong with that. That would have been a good storyline, but nah. They have to spice things up and say it's the first time. But as you can see here, more evidence has surfaced indicating 90 Day Fiance Forrest and Sheena met in person at least once, in brackets possibly multiple times, prior to filming their first meeting for the show. Her Sarcasm previously reported a friend of Sheena wished her a happy birthday on Facebook in 2019. The auto message generated an anime clip that included Sheena's profile photo with Forrest. Now bear in mind, 2019. So that means they haven't just met once before, but they've definitely met twice before. And now we've seen in the show, that means this is their third time meeting, which again isn't a big deal. I don't know why a storyline has to be fabricated for them to be shockingly met for the first time. Oh, let's make this all into a hoo-ha. Now, don't get me wrong. They could have easily done a storyline where they said that Forrest is going back to the Philippines to meet his long-term girlfriend that he hasn't seen in about a year or two. But this time, his mum's coming with him to finally meet the woman that he keeps raving about. The question is mum going to be happy with this woman when she finally meets her? That's exactly what the storyline could have been. The mum storyline would have still been the same, but nah. We gotta, spice it up a little bit. And to be fair, I've had my conspiracies regarding their intention. Is their intention really for Sheena to move to the States? Or has it always been for Forrest to move to the Philippines? I personally think that the idea is for him to move to the Philippines. To be honest with you, it doesn't actually make any sense for them to move to America. We've seen the house. We've seen the home that they live in. It's a beautiful home, okay? The life she's living there is lovely. If she came to America, the woman would be downgrading her life, especially given the fact that Forrest doesn't even bloody work. Now, regarding him not working, that is something else we're going to speak about in another video, because I've come across some very interesting information about this man that further on contradicts his ability to not work. But as you can see here, it does say that it appears Facebook grabs the person's profile photo at the time of the message, but that was not 100% confirmed. The message would still be available at the time on our previous post, but the image certainly wasn't Sheena's profile photo. Plus, Forrest definitely looks quite different in the photo than he does in the show. This is obviously reference to the one that we witnessed previously, okay? Now, of course, as you can see, more evidence. Forrest and Sheena met before filming. Over the past couple of days, more concrete proof has been discovered following Forrest and Sheena were together in the Philippines well before filming before the 90 days. The evidence is The new evidence in the video and photos posted by the Facebook page for the Filipino bed and breakfast owned by Sheena's parents. The photo and video was posted in November 2023. Clearly show Forrest with Sheena and her family. Now, I'm going to tell you this now, folks. Every single one of these photos that you see here is now being removed from the Facebook page. I went on the Facebook page, I even went on the IG page, and these photos have now been removed. Listen, once the internet has the details, the internet will have the details forever. So the fact that they've now gone out of the way to delete it is just absolutely pointless, because this is what they should have done in the first place anyway. But I guess they didn't think that the 90-day community were great detectives. Well, Sheena, well, Forrest, you're finding out. When it comes to the 90-day community, whether it's myself here on the YouTube or any other YouTuber, or whether it's somebody on Instagram or somebody on Facebook or Reddit, trust me, there's always a good detective in one of those platforms is going to find out the truth. And once the truth has been told, well, this is why I'm here right now, to let the people know. Now, of course, it continues by saying, not only does this prove Forrest and Sheena were together before the show, but it also shows Forrest and Sheena's parents getting along quite well. Yes, this is showing that Forrest has a good relationship with her parents. Now, of course, there has not been any images of Molly back in 2023, nor was there one in the one prior. Okay, so which tells me that this time was probably Molly's first ever time meeting Forrest. But then this also brings me to ask the question. Forrest told a story about how he flew all the way to Indonesia and he got scammed by a woman. How true is that story now? Because now I'm starting to think that that whole story was just made up. Because boy, where's the evidence behind that one? And that's evidence that I'm still trying to find out. But nonetheless though, let's get into the other nitty and gritty of things that I also did find, okay, regarding himself. So I was minding my own business, seeing if there's any content lurking around on the internet. And then I came across a very interesting post on the Reddit. As you can see here, Forrest police report from 2023, harassment/eviction. Now, bear in mind, folks, I'm only giving this information here just so you are aware of the type of person that you are watching and how you want to view that person for the remainder of the season. That is the only intention behind me giving you this information, okay? So this person says, I found this by quickly Googling his name and 2023, unsure if it was already posted here. This seems like it would be either just before or after he went to the Philippines. It seems Forrest was evicted either right before or after going abroad and was also potentially stalking/harassing his community. So bear in mind, folks, you are watching somebody that has the ability to harass other people, which is not good. As you can see, it also says that in the comment, Don came to the Dallas police or Dallas police department to report that Forrest Atwood Mackenzie was being evicted from their apartment building, but continues to come by and harass his old neighbors by recording them on his cell phone. What the hell were you doing? That is absolutely disgusting. Now, the person's name, Don Shockley, states he is tired of the harassment and that he is going to do bloody harm to Atwood, that being Forrest, as well as force Forrest's cell phone into a lower body, or it's not too sure what that word means or even what it says, but anyway, if Forrest continues. Don was advised to call the police if he needs to and to refrain from any physical conflicts. So as you can see, Forrest is somebody that is definitely not shy to use his devices to stalk people, to harass people, to make people feel uncomfortable. And to be fair, ironically, in the show, one thing that we did learn about him in the very first episode is that he is very, very good with his tech. So good with his tech that he's got cameras all over his house. So therefore, whenever he is in America, guess what? His jobless self is able to be watched by his woman, Sheena, as many times as she wants all the way in the Philippines. Now, this is something that I saw when I came across the Reddit itself in particular. So then I thought, surely there must be more. Maybe there is more, so let's do some more digging. Let's see if there's anything else about this guy that shows him to have a criminal record, anything that shows this man to be the liar he is, to be the victim playing he is. Well, I think it was able to, well, not myself in particular, but then I reached out and, one of my fellow Americans was like, hey, don't worry, let me see if I can find anything else in this guy. And this is obviously what I was then, they were able to help me find, which is fantastic. So, male sub J. Now, bear in mind, some of these things here, some of these abbreviations, I have no idea what they mean. So if you do know, please do let me know in the comment section. As you see, it says male sub J walking around into a light blue Prius, plate unknown, black hoodie, blue shorts, and glasses. He handed a femme W blonde hair something. So obviously there's a female, he handed her something. Quite interesting. Femme was acting weird. Left about a minute ago and flipped off RP when they drove by. Interesting. So Forrest was met with, he was obviously seen meeting a blonde woman by the sounds of it, gave her something, and then she then acted weird. Interesting. Heading towards Font County, RP would like contact with an officer about the situation. Interesting. So it continues by saying, officer contacted Alexandra McAllister, who said male friend was looking for wallet. I contacted the RP and she believed the incident may involve drug activity. Of course, to be fair, if somebody's got a black hoodie on or a hoodie, whatever, looking a bit suspicious, they hand something over to someone and then they walk away, it can definitely give that vibe, isn't it, that maybe drugs were involved. Doesn't mean it was, but it gives you that vibes. Continues by saying, when she contacted the male, he said it was none of her business why he was there. Fair point, I guess. I spoke to the RP. The Prius was observed traveling south towards Safeway. Then it continues here at the bottom by saying that I made contact with Forrest and with Mackenzie as he was exiting the vehicle. He advised he had pulled over an AutoZone earlier and lost his wallet. That's him obviously explaining his wallet situation. Continues by saying he explained that he got out and was looking for it and the manager contacted him. Mackenzie denied, that being obviously Forrest, denied any drug activity. So he's saying that I did not give drugs to nobody. And did not appear to be under the influence of anything. To be fair, it doesn't really give him the vibe of somebody that would kind of take his own product, if that was the case, if you do get what I'm saying. Anyway, continue by saying, and his passenger, Alex McAllister, gave Sergeant L the same account the RP was advised, okay? And as you can see here, obviously Forrest's name's there. Again, like I said, folks, I'm just giving you guys these details just so you know who you're aware of, and therefore you can have your own opinion. But as you can see, it does say that the final tab at the top here is suspicious. So yes, we have got a situation where this man has been seen doing suspicious activities, but clearly nothing was proven, so I guess that keeps him clear. But of course, when it comes to this one is definitely so much more intense because, boy, harassing people with your phone, with your camera is absolutely ludicrous behavior. But hey, with that being said though, thank you so much for your time, folks. I'll be back again with another video either today or tomorrow regarding Forrest, okay? Because boy, this guy, all I can say is this: he doesn't know when to be quiet. We think that his mum is the one that's bad when it comes to being outspoken, but when it comes to having no filter and just well, I mean, let's just say this: Forrest is not that much different. We already spoke about him in a previous video where he was seen online sending messages and, you know, in a tone that was not kind. Well, let's just say that tone is definitely very much a part of his DNA. Let's just say that when it comes to Sheena, that's the only time he'd be protective towards her, and he seems as if he's not as bad as his mother. But yeah. And also on top of that, in the same video that's going to come up, not only am I going to be speaking about him and his attitude, I'm also going to be speaking about his mother too and her attitude, because there's some information that I've come across which I need to make a video about. Please do enjoy the comment section, like the video and subscribe, and I'll see you guys in the next one. Peace.